This is pre-calculus, notes on section 6.3. Oops. Okay, and this is 6.3, coterminal angles. All right, you should already have the definition of coterminal angles in your notes. When we discussed it earlier in this section, we discussed it, measuring the angles in degrees. The only thing that's different now is that we are using radian measure. And so the angles are both going to be given to you in radians, and they are going to, your answer has to be in radians, okay? All right. The directions also say, okay, that we need a coterminal angle that's between 0 and 2 pi. Okay, let me just draw the angle that we're given here. I want to draw a rough sketch of this angle. All right, there's my axes, my initial ray, positive x-axis, and we are going to be rotating clockwise, okay? Remember that an entire circle would be 2 pi, that if I am rotating half a circle, I've got pi, or this is negative pi because I'm rotating in the clockwise direction. And if I'm only rotating a quarter of a circle, I've got negative pi over 2 because that's the same as negative 90 degrees, okay? Negative pi over 3, or in other words, another way that you can say that, negative pi over 3, is 1/3, or negative 1/3 of pi, okay? So 1/3 is smaller than 1/2, all right? So what that tells me is that I'm not going past that y-axis because I'm going less than 1/2 of pi. 1/3 of pi is less than 1/2 of pi. All right, so this is a quadrant 4 angle. All right, so what am I going to do in order to find an angle that is coterminal with it? Well, let me draw you what angle I'm looking for now. All right, let's do this in black. Right? So I want a positive angle. All right, there it is in black. That's the angle I'm looking for that has the same terminal ray. Okay? In degrees, we'll come back to this slide later, but I just want to show you these. I'm going to jump around a little bit. In degrees, in order to find coterminal angles, we added or subtracted multiples of 360. Okay? Here, I'm going to add and subtract multiples of 2 pi. Why? Because 2 pi in radians is equal to 360 degrees. So the concept is the same. I'm adding or subtracting multiples of a circle. Right? If I'm doing it in radians, I'm adding and subtracting multiples of 2 pi. All right? So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take my negative pi over 3 that was given, and I'm going to add 2 pi, and that's going to give me the black one. Now, in order to add fractions, I need common denominators. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 3. Okay. So this is negative pi over 3 plus top times top gives me 6 pi. Bottom times bottom gives me 3. Now that the denominators are the same, I can add the numerators. Negative pi and positive 6 pi is 5 pi. All right, so that's my coterminal angle right there. That one is coterminal with negative pi over 3. It's this black angle that's shown. That's the measure. This is 5 pi over 3. Here's our next problem. Okay, and again, we are being asked to find an angle that's between 0 and 2 pi. It has to be positive, all right? What I'm going to do with this is I am going to make 19 over 4 a mixed number because I don't even know how many multiples of 2 pi that is, all right? So 19 divided by 4, okay, gives me 4. 4 3/4. All right. So 19 pi over 4 equals 4 3/4 pi. All right. All right, let me draw this. Here's my axes. Okay, this is positive. So the initial ray is positive x-axis, and this is going to rotate in the counterclockwise direction. Okay, it is going to rotate more than one whole circle because this number is greater than 2 pi. As a matter of fact, it's going to rotate, so here we go, there's 2 pi, all right, one full circle. It is going to rotate another full circle because that is greater than 4 pi. Well, how much more further will it rotate? It is going to rotate past half of pi, or pi over 2. It's not going to rotate all the way over here to pi, all right? It is going to rotate 3/4 is somewhere between half and a whole. So it's somewhere between pi over 2 and pi. So this is a quadrant 2 angle, okay? Now what I'm looking for is this coterminal angle that's positive and somewhere between 0 and 2 pi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 4 pi. I'm going to subtract 2 full rotations. So I've got 19 pi over 4, subtract 4 pi. Okay. Multiply top and bottom, by 4 to get the common denominator. So I've got 19 pi over 4, subtract 16 pi over 4, which gives me 3 pi over 4. That's my coterminal angle. Same thing here. You know what? That's so much like the previous one, I'm not even going to do it. All right, moving right along. In this problem, this is a lot like the ones we did earlier in this section. They're asking for 4 angles that are coterminal with pi over 4. Okay, so here's my thing. We've already discussed that. We're going to add and subtract multiples of 2 pi. Okay, and here, there you go. That is my arithmetic sequence. Okay, you're taking your theta and you're adding and subtracting 2 pi n, where n stands for any integer or any multiple of 2 pi. All right, here we go. So I need 4 of them. So I'm going to take pi over 4. I'm going to add 2 pi. Okay, I need a common denominator. So I'm multiplying top and bottom by 4. So this equals pi over 4 plus 8 pi over 4. Because top times top and bottom times bottom. That gives me 9 pi over 4. Okay? I'm going to do it again. Here's one of my 4 coterminal angles. I'm going to do it again. I've got pi over 4. This time I'm going to add 4 pi. Okay, that's a multiple of 2 pi. I need a common denominator. Multiply top and bottom by 4 to get the common denominator. So this equals pi over 4 plus 16 pi over 4. Which gives me 17 pi over 4. That is a second coterminal angle. I'm going to do it again. I need to do this for 4 of them. This time I'm going to subtract 2 pi. So I'm going to start with pi over 4. And I'm going to subtract 2 pi. And I need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 4. So this is equal to pi over 4. Subtract, right, top times top is 8 pi. Bottom times bottom is 1 times 4. So this gives me pi subtract 8 pi is negative 7 pi over 4. One more time. Pi over 4. This time I'm going to subtract 4 pi. I need a common denominator. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 4. So I have pi over 4 minus 4 pi times 4 is 16 pi. Oops, that's a 6. Oh my. Let me erase that. Okay. 16 pi over 4. So pi subtract 16 pi is going to be negative 15 pi. All right, so 4 answers. 1, 9 pi over 4. 2, 17 pi over 4. 3, negative 7 pi over 4. And 4, negative 15 pi over 4. All right, that's that video.